Hitting live. Wait for this thing to go. Well, are we live? Maybe. Possibly. I think we're live. Yes, we are live. Hello, everybody. My name is Matt Johnson, and I am here with the ever-talented Sculpting With Time, well, half of Sculpting With Time, Mr. Alex Douglas, and he's currently frozen. So you know how that is whenever you start a live stream, and then you click go live, and then immediately the live stream dies, and you're like, okay, great, you know? But we're going to roll with it. That's okay. We need to let some people join the chat anyways here and to hang out with us. So this is like a super low-key live stream. Me and Alex hanging out, drinking some, well, I got water, but, you know, staying hydrated, living the dream. What else do you need to know? This is sort of a new separate. Alex texted me, I'm going to reset my router. Okay, cool. He's like, I'm going to reset my router and do it from LTE, whichever you want to do.
Matt's just going to entertain.
And Matt's just going to entertain people. Ta-da. No, this may look like a slightly different background here. It's not just a, well, it is just a white background. It's a white wall. This will be decorated. We just moved like 2 weeks ago. So it was kind of crazy. Oh my gosh, there's two of me now. Oh no, what have we done? We're just going to go to that there. Hello. It's me again. Whenever Alex rejoins, we'll make it two. Actually, I kind of like the two of us. Look at this. There's two different angles. What is happening right now? This live stream is insane. Yeah, Alex should rejoin here in a second. And then, like I said, we're just hanging out. We're just answering questions. Having a good time. So if you want to hang out with us, you're more than welcome to. Yeah. Who else is here? Jay Worsley is here. Two Matts. Yes, there are two of me. Two of us. Two ourselves. Wheeler Visuals here. Sky London's here. Wheeler Visuals is currently editing a wedding right now. Well, I'm glad that we can entertain you while that's happening. Ballin is here from Germany. Jay Murray. Jeremy with J.R. Murray? I don't know why I'm going to say Murray whenever I have the R. If it's just Jay Murray, I'm just like Jay Murray. But J.R. Murray makes my mouth want to do J.R. Murray. I don't know what's happening here. Aaron Walker's here. Everybody's here. Hope you're all having a really, really great Monday. Big plans for this wall back here. It's going to have probably cat paintings on it. I got to get it lit well. This is literally like me, you know, this isn't even a wedding film review live stream. This is just like a fun one that we're just doing. So that makes it a little bit easier, a little bit safer, a little bit tamer. We'll see if Alex ever comes back. If not, I guess I'm just doing this live stream on my own, which I can do that. That's no big deal. So, how are you guys doing? What do you want to talk about? I'm all ears. I'm all open. This is
anything you want to discuss.
Anything. If you want to talk about wedding filmmaking, anything like that, of course. And once Alex gets back here, he's the other one half of Sculpting With Time, who are some of the most incredible wedding filmmakers on the planet that are making just jaw-dropping work. So that's going to be a lot of fun. Skyline Mac Up Minimalist. Yeah, minimalist. That's me. You don't want to see how messy the rest of the room is over here, okay? The rest of the room's over here, and you don't want to see that, trust me. Because we have a 2-year-old, and it is it's a mess. So, yeah. Anyways, Radu Don, hi Matt, love your content. I'm looking into booking my first wedding. Most likely it's going to be free, but hey, we need to start somewhere. Dude, totally. Like, free is perfectly all right. You go free, get the experience, get a portfolio built. Love it. Slim Yellow, how to start a wedding demo reel? Well, I mean, if you've already shot weddings, edit the weddings you have. If you haven't shot any weddings, shoot a wedding for free, like Radu Don is trying to do, or do a styled shoot or something like that. Alex says, I'm restarting the modem. So great. Oh, man. You got to see Alex frozen there for just a second. I kid you not. He was perfectly fine moving, and then I literally click live, and it's like, everything stops. Man. Let's see. Devoyage Incorporated. Where can we get good wedding contacts? Good wedding contacts or contracts? If you want good wedding contacts, build relationships with photographers and wedding coordinators. Those are the two biggest people, I would say. Aaron Walker, I had couples this weekend saying, "Wow, Aaron, you really know what you're doing. Thank you so much." And I just don't know what to say. Hey,
Thank you.
you say thank you, and you got to realize that a lot of people don't know what video is. Like, they know how to watch a video, they know how to consume video, but like the art and act of creating a video is still very foreign to people. Like, people understand photos. Like, people are like, I take a picture. Yeah, they'll always ask, like, take my photo. Easy. But whenever you're like, hey, take a video, they're like, a video? Like, how do you even do that? What does that entail? And I don't know. Editing is just kind of this big mystery to people. And so they're going to say thank you because they don't really know what you're doing. And you're like, you just say, oh, you're welcome. Glad to help. Oh, man. Radu Don, what APS-C lens for Sony E-mount do you recommend? Let's see. If I just to pick one off the top of my head, the Sigma 30mm. I'm a pretty big fan of that one for APS-C. It's like 30mm 1.4, and the Sigma 16mm f1.4. Two killer lenses for less than $500. Really love both of those. Derek Chan, I'm your number one fanboy. Yes, you are, and I'm also Derek Chan's number one fanboy. If you guys don't watch Derek Chan's work, he's freaking legendary. And me and Derek are going to be hanging out this September at a little thing called Vision Quest, if you guys want to come and hang out. I was going to talk about it a little more later, but I'll talk about it now too. So Vision Quest is put on by Sculpting With Time. Little reason why Alex is here. And it's happening September 20th through the 22nd in Austin, Texas. If you want to come, it's going to be insane. Like, absolutely nuts, balls to the wall insane. And I'm so excited about it. Sculpting Time's going to be there. Fire and Ice. Philip Bloom's going to be there. Henry Martins. Josh Helton. Fiore Films. 31 Films. Bottle Brush Films. Like, can you see this here? Look at this guy. They even got this guy here. Who's he? Don't know. It's going to be literally insane. And it's going to be so much fun. So, September 20th through the 22nd. Technically the 19th. You can come check in, hang out for happy hour. I'm going to be hanging out this whole time. It's going to be awesome. So, yeah, we should all go. Everybody should go. Website is FOMOisrealyall.com down in the video description. Anyways, love you. Nemanja Radosavljevic. Radosavljevic. I think. I don't know. Show us your beardless photo. I used to have a video about that I had to. Let's see here. Did I? Oh, Alex is here. Here we go. Hold on. We're going to accept Alex to the call. There he is. Back at it again.
What's up, guys?
He's alive.
Sorry about that.
Oh, you're good. You're good. So I was telling people, I'm like, what happens is I'm going to press live and then immediately you're going to freeze. And it happened just like that. So
no,
it's okay. We got 34 people hanging out right now. We'll see who else joins and hangs out as we go here. But yeah, I've just been literally just entertaining people while you were gone. So with that, you wanna kind of introduce yourself a little bit here in case people don't know. I talked about you some as like one of the best wedding filmmakers ever, but you're allowed to toot your own horn if you want to.
It's always an awkward thing to do.
It really is.
Yeah. I have a background in filmmaking. I went to film school. Not that that really means anything, but I went to an art school in San Francisco Art Institute. I got into films in high school, so kind of like teenage angst, trying to get an outlet to express myself and like had my voice heard and needed some sort of art and made a few like public service announcements that I submitted to competitions and ended up getting a scholarship to that school. And kind of the rest is history, but I guess that's where I got my sort of foundational understanding of film, being kind of a one-man band, doing things kind of, as efficiently, cheaply as possible, knowing kind of all the different aspects of filmmaking and trying to hone my skills in all of them. And from there, I realized like it's kind of a crapshoot as far as getting solid work. I was dating Whitney at the time, trying to impress her parents. And so I'd be gone for like 6 months at a time, like on a random shoot in China. And then like another one came up in Cuba or on a Lakota Sioux reservation. And it just didn't seem like a sustainable lifestyle. And so I decided I'm going to give this wedding thing kind of a try. And all my snobby art school friends were like, "You're going to do weddings?" And I was like, "You're probably going to be bagging groceries in a few years." And other than that, like, you can't kind of script a like better story than like two people, all the sort of choices they've made over their lives to like have their paths intersect, and generations before them, you know, everything that they've done to like even allow us to exist at this point. And here they are like professing their love for each other under a roof with like all their loved ones and family members and friends. And one shot at it. You only get one shot at it. And like it's not scripted, and like trying to get all these money shots like on the fly. It's stressful, but it's also like pretty thrilling and exciting. So that's kind of how I got into weddings, and Whitney kind of slowly dipped her toes into it and then got really invested in it. She has a painting background, so she's used to spending like a month on one painting, and she loved like the immediacy of like this format. But she has such a great understanding of like lighting and composition, and from her painting background, and intentionality from like, you know, working on a painting for like a month at a time. And so it just became this like cool hybrid, and it kind of slowly evolved. And you know, you get one or two opportunities, and you just really try and take advantage of them. I mean, we started out doing gymnasium weddings for $500. I think that's kind of a common theme for everyone, and just sort of every opportunity that you get, really trying to make the most out of it and kind of level up and take advantage of situations when you can. And so we had a few films kind of go viral here or there, and that kind of catapulted us to the next level. And then when you're at that level, you get a few more opportunities and try and take advantage of those. And, you know, it's been kind of like 8 years now, 7-8 years. And we've won a fair amount of awards. I mean, those are all subjective. There's no objective like best, but to be considered among some of the best is something I'm very proud of. And I feel like we've kind of done it our way, and done it kind of bold and kind of against the grain a little bit, and have still found a niche market of like doing still very high-end weddings, but also being known for not like, just doing them differently. And usually those things don't fit so well together, doing these sort of like, you know, high-end whatever weddings. Usually they're a little more traditional, the editing approach or the style. But it's allowed us to stand out within that market. And so clients and planners are either going to really love it, or maybe they're not. But we get a lot of people that do love it, and they're usually very enthusiastic about our work. They know what they're getting. And so, you know, I say, you know, I think it's an old adage, but put what's on your website that you want to sell. And so that's kind of where we're at.
I love that.
Yeah.
Oh man. Okay. Questions are rolling in here. My goodness. Okay. We'll just jump into these here. I've got, I think there was some up ahead, but I don't have to scroll back too much here. So Bill Peterson asked, question for you both. If you could only have 2 lenses on a wedding day, what would they be? Bum, bum, bum.
You asking me, or are you going first?
You can go first. That's okay.
Okay. I'd probably say that's tough. Only two. Can I have three?
You're
Uh,
allowed to modify, I'm sure.
okay. I would say, I mean, if it's only two, then I guess a 24 to 70 and a 70 to 200.
Hmm.
Just because it gives me that range.
Yeah.
But I use a fair amount of lenses. I mean, I guess if I had a third one, it would be a 50, 1, 2.
Because
Um,
y'all are on Canon, aren't you?
mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm on the 1DX3 and Whitney's on the R5.
Man, that is a
Um,
workout.
yeah, especially I use the Movi Pro too.
Oh gosh, so you're just
So
you're
yeah,
just getting the workout in. My goodness,
I feel
I love that.
like I'm getting carpal tunnel already.
But that's kind of like a bragging right, you know, whenever, because it's just like using a computer mouse. People are like, oh, carpal tunnel, that's normal. But if you're like, no, it's from this Movi rig, it's huge. You're like, oh, wow. Okay, well, that's impressive. All right. That's neat.
Yeah,
Man, that's crazy.
I use it just sort of to get sort of like telephoto gimbal work,
Mm-hmm.
so I can kind of shoot at 70, but
Yeah.
since it's sort of a Super 35 sensor, it makes it closer to 100 millimeter. So if you're doing kind of, a lot of running around or
Yeah.
trying to get some of those torquing movements, then bigger gimbal like that, it's just easier.
Yeah, no, definitely. It's funny because I literally just got I've gone the opposite direction because I literally just got the Zhiyun Weeble 2. So it's like the
Yeah.
smallest little this little baby gimbal, but I'm like, it's so light. Oh my gosh, like I can use this thing all day, and so it makes a big difference. I'm a big fan. But
What lenses would you have? Two lenses.
Yeah, man. So it's funny because usually I only am really using like 2 lenses on the wedding day aside from the ceremony. Like ceremony, you got to do like 70 to 200 usually. But like otherwise, like I'm either on a 24 or a 50 all day pretty much. Like 24 for gimbal, 50 for gimbal sometimes, and then just handheld. And so like if I had a 50 or a 35 all day, I could probably be good for the whole wedding day.
Well, you kind of changed the rules there. If we're taking out ceremony and speeches, then I would go 24 to 70 and a 50.
Yeah, see, who cares about the ceremony, right? Oh gosh, no. It's like it's weird because ceremonies are simultaneously like the most important part, quote unquote, because it's like the event that you're kind of hired to film, but also like you're like in terms of creative storytelling, you're like, well, they're up there, we got a tripod set up, I got to do this thing, and so it's a balance, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Man, let's see here. Dinesh Butterwall is asking, hi Matt and Alex, what do you think about the Panasonic S5? Especially if you don't rely too much on autofocus and do narrative in controlled environments. Do you use a lot of autofocus or?
I do with my gimbal work, but that's the only time. But I'm on the gimbal, I don't know, half the day. So
yeah,
I mean, I used to never use autofocus, but ever since the dual autofocus has gotten so good on the Canon cameras, I just feel like it's just easier.
Yeah.
I mean, it saves me a second or two, and it's made me a little bit lazy. I'm okay with that.
Yeah, it's weird because like I was always very staunch to like manual focus only, you know, and I was on the Sony A7S II for so long, and it was very like you're stuck with manual focus there. Like you can use autofocus a bit, but it's a little squirrely. And so then switching to the whenever I got the A7S III, I was like, well, maybe I'll try out some autofocus. And I'm like, this is so good, dang it! And then it was well, now I'm just doing that for a ton of stuff. So oh well. But Dinesh had asked about the Panasonic S5. I think it's great. I think that it's a good camera, especially if you're in the Panasonic ecosystem. But also, I don't think that I don't know. I really want to see Panasonic make their autofocus work better because it's even with the S5, they're like kind of like it works better than before, but not as well as it should. And I don't know. It's a little rough even now.
Yeah, I don't know enough about it to speak on it honestly, but I mean, I have a few friends that use Panasonic and they're able to create some very strong images, but I guess that would be the only thing that I've heard feedback wise, just around the community is their autofocus just hasn't been up to snuff yet.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know where this fits on the spectrum of usable autofocus. But if it's getting better, then maybe it's something to look at if you're already on the fence about it.
Oh, Ricardo Fasoli's here. He says, super cool people there. We love you, Ricardo.
What's up, my friend?
He's the best. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, he is.
Oh,
His
man.
colors are just insane.
He's like,
Some of
if
the
you
best
guys don't
colors out
have,
there.
if you guys don't have Ricardo's LUTs, just go buy them now. They're like Creative Weddings, I think is his website, but it's a K instead of a C. It's so good.
Yep.
Oh my gosh.
Ricardo was so kind that before I bought the newest R5 or 1DX3, I just wanted to test out like every camera, every sort of color system. And I was like, who should I talk to? I should talk to Ricardo, but he's just so kind about, it's like, oh, I'm excited to see what you can create with the A7S3 because I rented it just for a day or two. I was like, man, you'll be disappointed. And I wasn't able to create anything nearly as cool as you. It's like, I just thought like somehow I was going to magically turn into and I don't know. It obviously takes a lot of work to like tweak camera settings and get everything right, but
definitely.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. This is good here. I'm interested to hear your perspective on this one here. Ronnie Gibbs says, any tips for videography in the rain? I have a wedding this weekend and there's rain in the forecast. How do y'all handle that?
Either like just go for it and like you're okay getting a little wet and the couple's okay getting a little wet and it turns out to be like really beautiful footage, like Ricardo's Scotland elopement, like in one of his first films that went like really viral. Like just go with it and like make it sexy and rainy. But if it's literally on the wedding day and it's not just like a portrait shoot you're doing with the couple, it's probably a little harder and you need to be probably a little more strategic about it. Couple's dead set on doing their ceremony and being in the rain, then you do it. I guess you would just, I mean, most cameras are weather sealed at this point. So I wouldn't be as concerned about that. I mean, maybe just bring like one of those pocket ponchos.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't underwater housing or anything. I don't think that's necessary.
Not unless you
I guess it
actually want to
depends
go
on how
underwater.
heavily it's raining.
Yeah, definitely. I've had some. I generally veer on the side of like, well, that's what gear insurance is for, I guess. Okay, let's do this thing, and then because I'll go out into. I've been in some pretty torrential downpours with rain, and I'm like, well, I want to get these shots. And usually, if you get the couple out there, and like you were saying, like what Ricardo does, like if you can make it sexy and you got like the rain, and everything's wet, and it's just, it can look so cool, but you got to get it looking. You got to be brave enough to do it. And
I guess the one tip I would give is I typically don't ever use lens hoods, but I would use a lens hood if I was shooting in the rain. Just it'll help, you not get these water drops on your lens and provide these awkward blurs and stuff, unintentional blurs.
That would require me
use
to.
A lens hood.
I would have to bring the lens hood then along with me, and I think all my lens hoods are like in a box in my closet because I'm like I don't ever like it, it's one of those things. I like take the lens out of the bag, I leave the lens hood in the bag with like the other stuff, and then I just throw that into like a box in my closet, and I never touch it really unless I like really need something. I'm gonna like sell the lens, so I probably could consider like taking them along with me for things, but oh well, we'll see.
My whole attic is composed of like just a bunch of lens boxes in case one day I sell these lenses. That's about it. And they all have the lens hoods in them.
I'm very similar, except we moved recently and I was like, I need to get rid of some of these boxes, dang it. Okay. And I don't know if you saw Bottle Brush Films. They're living out of a van now.
Yeah.
And they had their Insta stories of them getting rid of. Andrew was getting rid of all of his boxes. Like Grace is like, you cannot put the boxes in the van. And it was like the saddest set of stories where he's like going and taking all these empty boxes and breaking them down of all of his camera gear and throwing them away. And he's like, no, my boxes. It was great. Oh man.
I I just have been finishing editing their reel that we're going to drop tomorrow, Bottle Brushes for Vision Quest. It's so hot. Whitney, it's her favorite reel that we've done for any of the companies at Vision Quest.
Man.
They just have such a fun and like cool style. She's like,
yeah.
What is up with all their couples? Are they all like, how are they so fun and crazy? And they're all like spraying beer on each other. And it's like, are they all on drugs? Like, how does it work that way?
Rachel and I think the same way. Like, it's just,
I don't know.
So much that's like the Australian culture. And it's just this weird, sort of like just incredibly exuberant. And we have kind of this theory that we run with where it's like, in general, it's like European weddings are like the most conservative, like on average. It's just like, you know, you talk to European wedding videographers and they're like, oh, the couple's super reserved. They don't even want to read letters. They're like, they barely even hug kind of thing, you know? And then America's kind of in the middle. And then Australia's like the most utter extreme, like exuberant. Everybody's cursing. There's always naked people. Like, what is happening? It's just, it's so fun. I love it. Oh my gosh.
It's so fun.
Man. Oh, it's so good. Okay. So what is, okay. Fox Weddings asked for Danielle and Adam's wedding film, which I assume that's one that you did. How long?
That's our Italy wedding.
Yeah, the Italy wedding. Like, how long did you spend in editing that wedding film?
That's a good question. I'm really intentionally poor at timing myself on my edits because I would hate myself if I knew how much I actually spent on them.
Yes.
Because I would say, like, typically our business model is not one that like would be revered or like would be something that most people would follow, because for us it's like I'm going to spend as much time as possible on this to like really to the utmost detail, like under a microscope, these like just really tight edits and like give myself space to like walk away from the edit and come back to it. Yeah, this was how I thought it should be done the first time I edited it, but how else can I improve on this? What can I change? Like maybe I'm a different person every time I come to my computer to edit. So just because I thought it was right then, does that mean it's right now? And just knowing that like, okay, this was a huge opportunity. It's the only time we had filmed in Italy at that point. And so I'm not just going to push this out the door just for efficiency's sake. And so, you know, let the material speak to you, you know, let it's the character of the couple come out, like really try and chisel that and let that come, you know, whatever the strengths are of that wedding. Don't just put it in a cookie cutter box and, you know, put this formula on it. And so that's what I mean about opportunities. And so that was the only time we had ever shot in Italy. And that became probably one of the most popular films ever shot in Italy.
Yeah.
You know, and now we're shooting 20 plus, you know, I don't want to get into specifics, but Lake Como wedding that we're booking right now. And so just, you know, it's not just being efficient for this one film and that's where I'm making my money. It's like, no, this becomes a billboard for my brand, and I might spend more time on it, but I'm going to make that money on the back end because it's going to lead to more sales.
Definitely. I've been
so
playing
I would
the
say
wedding video in the background here for people, and just like,
cool.
Sorry, I'll let you finish.
Yeah. So I'd say probably like 3 weeks, probably.
I like that it was this really long answer, and then finally like, so probably 3 weeks at the end. But let's not, you know, put that. I get it. I totally get it there. It's one of those things where if you, because there's business efficiency, I feel, where you're like, I got to be efficient, get stuff done. But then if you build your business model in a way where you can spend that amount of time and the creativity required, then it really doesn't matter as much how long it takes, because you're going to get way more bookings because of that. And the bookings you're going to get are going to be significantly more money that you'd be making than if you were just, trying to crank out videos as quickly as you could.
Right.
I think
Exactly.
at Vision Quest 2 years ago, I remember listening to you speak, and you were doing a breakdown of one of your weddings. I don't remember which one it was, but you were talking through like all the sound effects that you had added to it, and you had like I think you had like a bell sound in it, and you were like, okay, I need this bell sound, but I need to like reverse the bell sound, and I need to have it come in right here at this moment. It's something like you never would even notice if you're watching it, but like you're like emotionally you're feeling it. And I loved that. I just wanted you to know that. I love that. So cool.
Yeah, that was the France wedding, and am I cutting out?
No, you're good. I got you. You're a little blurry, but you're still talking. Let's see here. So let's
Okay, I'm
yeah,
back.
there you are.
So yeah, that was the France wedding, and yeah, so much. I feel like sound is like half of what you're hearing or experiencing in a film, and
Yeah.
it's just so often overlooked. So it's easy just to like export and wash your hands of a film, but I feel like you can do so much with sound design. And I think I don't know if you remember, but like there was this very French sounding voiceover that was reading in the film, and I was like, I need someone to read something because the couple was very reserved and didn't speak much.
Yeah.
I was like, well, I could get one of the things that's already available, but I was like, no, I need something very French sounding.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, let's try voiceover.com or what. No,
Yeah.
it was like American actors like trying to do their French voice, you know. I'm like, no, this isn't gonna work. I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna like drive around to a bunch of French restaurants in
Yes.
Houston and like see if I can find a French waiter that like has a good French voice. And if I find him, I'll pay him, you know, $50, and we'll just go out in my car and like have him read this poem or whatever in a French accent. And that's what happened. I found someone like at the first restaurant. We went into the car, got like this awesome, very authentic French accent, and that I feel like makes the film. And I could have easily just like nailed it in on that and been done with it, wiped my hands of it. But I don't know. I think it's like being our own boss or being an artist. We're definitely artists. You want to admit it or not. Like you never know like what is the finishing point being your own boss, because there's no like criteria.
Yep. Oh, we lost Alex there for a second. Wait for it. He was making a good point here too. He's got his hand up. He was really emotional, invested in this. Sorry guys. Internet issues here. It's okay. It's a good pause there. Oh.
All right.
You're back now. Sorry, we lost you there
I'm
for a
back.
second.
I'm back. Sorry, dude.
No, you're good.
I just moved into this house like a month ago.
Still getting the internet figured out. I get it.
Yeah. Sorry. Should I just move to LTE and get off the Wi-Fi,
let's
man?
try that out.
What do you think?
Let's try that out.
All right.
Evariste Roussel says, "As a French, this is hilarious." I think it's great. You know, it's so good. If I'm like, I would never think like, oh, let me just go find a French waiter, you know. And then I'm also like, I don't know where I'm trying to think of. I'm sure Houston. I feel like Houston works well because it's such a multicultural city too, where you have the opportunity to be like, okay, let's go find a French restaurant, you know. Where I'm living in like New Braunfels now, and they're like, we have Mexican food. Do you need a Latin accent? We can get you that. Or maybe some German food. We could do that. You know, but if I needed German, I would just call up Ricardo and be like, hey, man, can you do a voiceover for me? And he'd be like, yes. And I'd be like, oh, your voice. Yes, Ricardo. This is what I want. Oh, my gosh. So good. Oh, man. Yeah, you're way clearer now. Look at that. Look at this pristine quality that we're getting here as we just run up Alex's phone bill to the roof here. As I say that, it glitches out again. Oh, well. Anyways. Okay, I do think we need to take a second here and talk about Vision Quest, because that's a really, really big deal here. So let's do Let's do this here. I'm gonna bring up the Vision Quest website. Man, tell you want to give people, like, from the creator himself. You want to give them a little hype about Vision Quest?
Yeah, man. I don't know. I just kind of created Vision Quest because, like, I wanted to make a sort of space for filmmakers that, in a selfish way, that I would just want to go to as a guest. Like, anything that I want to create, I'm creating it like in a way that I would either want to enjoy watching, like my films, or like that I would want to enjoy going to. So I just felt like we as filmmakers that are already, talented, that are already successful, like, there's no space for us. There's, like, events maybe on how to shoot ceremonies or get your profiles right, but there's no space to just, like, get inspired again. Like, it's not this renewable resource. We're shooting, like, so much, and it's just, you're supposed to be creative all the time, just on the spot, on call, and it can get just a little overwhelming, and it's not a renewable resource. And so I feel like as artists, we need to take time to, like, remember to find inspiration or to be inspired again. And then I feel like, as well, like, it's so easy to just kind of be in our editing caves and be on forums here and there, but it's more just like, I'm going to post a film or I'm going to judge someone else's work, but there's not really a true sense of, like, community in a lot of the forums. It's like, I'm going to post pretty pictures of me traveling on Instagram and it looks like I'm having a great time, which, you are, but, like, there's still a lot of isolation, I feel like, in our worlds, because we're at home alone editing a lot of the times. And I feel like getting us out of those editing caves and getting us, like, we plan, like, it's not just, I think the educational elements are cool, and we definitely have a lot of those, but it's more inspirational based, like, more theory based, not as solely technical, unless it comes to, like, color or lighting, things that I think, filmmakers can really benefit from. But I feel like we have all these cool events, like we do this boat cruise out on Lady Bird Lake in Austin, where the bats come out, and we have, like, a cool 80s synth pop band that played last time on the boat, and there's margarita machines, and that's all great, and it's fun, and it's a good, like, where am I, what's going on type of experience, which I think in the wedding world we're kind of used to it, like, these events being, like, just pretty over the top and surreal, but we don't ever really get to experience that as, like, filmmakers. We're just kind of documenting it. So I think it's cool to, like, have that sort of, like, wow, this is very over the top, but it's just for me. But more than anything, just, like, creating a space that's conducive for us all to connect, and, like, oh, we have the same problems. Let's share some wins. Let's, commiserate together on some of our stressful stuff that's happening. And it's not just happening to me, it's happening to you. And how did you solve it? And then having access, like, our speakers are, I feel like, some of the best filmmakers around. And we're flying people in from Europe this year that normally, it's harder to bring those people in, like Philip Bloom or Fire and Ice, just different people that normally we wouldn't have in the US at these events.
Definitely.
But having these speakers, not just to, like, give their lecture or whatever, but that you have access to them and you can just hang out with them and ask them anything. They're at your disposal for 3 or 4 days to just hang out and talk to you about how, what their path is, how they got to where they are, or, any questions you have about their work or technical stuff, or, I mean, they're at your disposal for all that time. And I think that's one of the more invaluable things. And one more thing, not only are the speakers, like, over the top, like, some of the attendees could, like, be speaking on their own, like, at any conference. So, like, it's pretty cool, the level of talent that wants to come. Like, Jason Magbuana is coming to And he's like one of the OG like godfathers of wedding
Yes.
cinema. And like, he's just coming because our kind of mantra is like always the student, never the master.
Yeah.
And so, sure, you can be technically proficient. Sure, you might be making good money. Sure, you might be somewhere in between. You're on your way there, but like, you feel like a workshop is not for you. You don't need that. But it's. I wouldn't say it's necessarily a workshop, but like, it's always about that. Like, you're never once you say you're a master, once you say like you've got it, and you stop learning, like you're being complacent, and like you're leveling out there. You're not going to get any higher.
Yep.
And so this is all about leveling up. Like, we can all level up. No matter where you're at, you can all level up together.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I think that's so good, man. And like, it's like whenever Vision Quest 2019 happened, and I was like, wait, they're getting these people to come? I have to come to this. This is so cool. And then you told me, you were like, hey, here's who we got coming this time. Philip Bloom's coming. And I'm like, Philip Bloom is coming not only to America, but to Texas? Yes, this is so, so great. And so there's just so many cool people. And it really is just like, it's community building, but it's also like, you're literally just hanging out with like the top wedding filmmakers in the world. And it's just like, you want to talk to them, you want to hang out. Like, whenever Jason Magbanua said that he was coming, and I just saw him like, I don't know. I think I saw a hint of it. He posted something, and then I messaged him, and I'm like, wait, is this serious? And he's like, yeah. And I was like, oh my goodness. This is revolutionary I don't know, just because I've been such a big fan of his for so long. And finally to be like, oh, I get to hang out with him. Okay, this is amazing. So it's going to be really, really nuts. Man, Derek Chan is here. He says, love Vision Quest. Met so many new friends there and plan to go to future ones. Yes, Derek, love you.
I mean, Derek is crazy, crazy talented. And, he's in that same tier of like top level filmmakers. And he wants to just come and hang out and has that thirst for knowledge and inspiration. And so he's a perfect example of, just let's never the master.
Definitely.
Love you, Derek.
Love you, Derek. Yes. So what people need to know is that there are not many tickets left. And I think there's even one less, considering that Matt Alt says in all caps, just got my ticket, super excited. So we're running out of tickets, y'all. If you want to come, this is now your time to figure out if you want to come or not, and you better do it. So website's linked in the description.
There is limited seating. Like, it does sell out. There's like 10 tickets left. So we're pretty silly. Like, it shows you that we're not about the money. Like, we create our hard cap on seating based on how many people can fit on the boat.
Exactly.
But the boat is so important to us. Like, it's about creating this experience, and we want every night and every day for there to be these really unique things for us to all do together. So like, there's no way we could like get rid of that. And I feel like it sets like a amount of people. It's not too big and it's not too small. But talking a little bit about the boat tour that we do with the live band and the margarita machine and the live bats that we see that come out under the bridge, which is like a super surreal experience. Like, I think we get a little like spoiled being in Texas. We know that happens in Austin, but like other cities, I think that people that live in other cities, that's something that's pretty unique. But another thing we added this year is that we're all taking a charter bus that you can all drink on all the way down to the Guadalupe River in Green, Texas. And Green is just this really cool, like, historic town where there's a bunch of cool antique shops. The oldest dance hall in Texas is there, but and we're all going to float down the Guadalupe River together in inner tubes. So it'll be like 80 or 90 people, and we'll have 4 like chaperones. We got like kind of the white glove service of inner tubing. And so there'll be like 4 chaperones guiding us all, and we'll have a few tubes just for coolers and beer. And so, yeah, we'll just get to like, it's a very like quintessential Texas thing. Just
100%.
the cypress trees are like growing out of the water, and they're just like hundreds of years old. And it's just truly like a beautiful and magnificent thing. And so just like creating experience for like that for us on top of the education. But I feel like you need a space. Like last year it was great, but we just had like 2 days of really intense like lectures, education, and I feel like you need your mind and brain to kind of this conducive to like receiving all that, for it to all to kind of percolate and digest it and figure out what to do with it. So like having a day where everyone just gets to kind of float down the river and digest it all and talk amongst their newly kind of founded peers, we thought was like a really cool addition.
Yeah.
We're also announcing something else this week that is equally as like blow your mind as the tubing adventure or the boat cruise. So like think about those two things being like, what, you don't get that at any other kind of event that you can attend. This is another thing that we're going to add is like on that level of blow your mind, but we're going to announce it on Wednesday or Tuesday, but it's pretty cool. It's never been done before, obviously, at one of these type of events, but that's kind of our brand. We just want to be kind of bold, over the top, knock you off your socks, and just kind of create an experience that's very conducive that like where you walk away being inspired, you walk away feeling connected to your community, and you walk away feeling like I have the tools, I have the knowledge, and I have the path to like level up right now.
Definitely. Ricardo says, would love to come, but September's quite high season. Sounds like an amazing event. Dang it, Ricardo. He does this. Like I went to Lonely Hearts Film Camp in Australia last year. Where did Ricardo go? Ricardo went to New Zealand, right next to Australia, but he didn't come to Australia. And I was like, Ricardo.
Oh, man.
You're so close to me. Closer than you being in Germany and me being in Texas. Oh, well. AJ Sims asks, are there any tickets available for traveling spouses, specifically for after-hours events? Dun, dun, dun.
I think that'd be a great idea, but since we literally have a hard count on how many people can fit on the boat, and that's what like creates our limitation on tickets we can sell. If we, basically added an extra ticket for someone just to go on the boat, then that would be taking away a ticket sale. So unfortunately, there's nothing we can do for spouses in that situation.
This is really
but
funny.
there are maybe events that they could get a ticket for, like the tubing adventure, if they paid for that is an option. But there are certain events that like there's a hard cap on the boat being them.
And well, to be clear also, like Austin's a really fun city and there's a ton of stuff to do and there's a ton of stuff happening. So like if you wanted to bring along your spouse or significant other and then just let them hang out in Austin, like they'd be really set. They'd have a great time. And then if say they wanted to come on the tubing adventure, like rafting, that's a lot easier to be like, hey, we'll just, throw another tube in and you can come along probably, so as long as the charter bus had room, I guess, or if they had to, Alex will just buy another bus, and we'll just keep adding buses until it's a long train of buses. And then there's, I don't know. That just seems easier than the boat, which is very limited. But I still think, and from what I remember, there's a lot of times where it's like, hey, we're going to go to such and such bar and hang out, or we're going to go to this place and hang out. And like, everybody just got together and did that. So you have a lot of opportunities to still have like spouses come if they don't want to just attend and listen to the educational stuff as well. Let's see here. Oh gosh, this is funny here. So people apparently got confused a little bit where they were like, Dinesh was like, this is crazy because I was playing the promo video for Vision Quest and he's like, this is crazy, like the production details. Who shot this? And it's like, and then somebody's like, yeah, Sculpting With Time did. It's like, no, Sculpting With Time edited some of that there. There's This is all the filmmakers that made these videos. This isn't just Alex and Whitney just busting their butt with like all these insane weddings. This is a bunch of insane weddings from a bunch of filmmakers. That's great.
Yeah, so we edited the show reel or the reel, but yeah, it is everyone's work. We do have an awesome show reel though, if you want to check that out. We just released that a few weeks ago, just our work. But yeah, that's all the speakers at Vision Quest, showing the sort of tier and level of creativity and talent involved for all those that are participating.
Man, so great, so excited. Oh man, it's gonna be awesome. Well, okay, we got a little bit more time here, guys. If you have questions, we are happy to answer them about filmmaking in general. Dun dun dun. Balin, I saw this one earlier. Balin asked, "Is Alex using a monopod? Do you what you? I know you're on the Movi for a lot. You guys got a monopod in your kit too somewhere?"
No monopod anymore. We kind of
Wow.
disavowed the monopods. That probably came once I just got, even with the 1DX2, without it being image stabilized, just a shoulder strap and an image stabilized lens is good enough for me. Whitney can rock a 70-200 image stabilized.
Yeah.
On a camera that doesn't have image stabilization. So, I mean, it can get a little tiresome, you know, always holding your camera like this, where you're like locking your
really locked
shoulders.
in there. Yeah.
So, I mean, there is some ease and convenience to using a monopod, but for us, it's either handheld or gimbal.
That's great. That's really great. Yeah, I don't know. Ever since I used to be such like a staunch monopod supporter, and then then IBIS happened, and I was like, I don't need this anymore. It's, I think I have like 3 of them in my closet, just unused now, except for like Rachel still used some from some of the longer lenses. I think she's not quite at the Whitney's level where she's like, I'll just handheld the 70-200. I'm like, no, you can. It's okay. Monopod's all right for stuff like that. But it's great. It's so great, man. Well, I think we've run out of questions here, but thank you everybody for asking questions and hanging out with us. This has been so much fun. If you want to check out Vision Quest, the website is FOMOisrealyall.com, which is way better than the last URL you guys had, which was just like Vision Quest 2019, I think. But I was like, crap, they're gonna have to buy a different URL every year if they do that. But FOMO is real, y'all, is so encompassing of it. I love it. I think I still have my shirt from 2019. It's in the closet. I wore it a few days ago, so it's really great.
Feels good. Feels
yeah.
good to wear that shirt. I wear it all the time, man.
Definitely. Well,
and Canon is our flagship sponsor this year, so they'll have some cool stuff in store as far as goodies and things they'll be providing.
You hear that, y'all? Everybody gets an R5. That's what Alex is saying here. Every attendee gets your choice, an R5 or a 1DX Mark III. It's going to be in the goodie bag. Don't worry about it. It's fine. No,
but out of the last remaining ticket sales that we have, I created an exclusive LUT pack for those last remaining ticket sales. So if you've seen our Italy film or our France film or our Palm Beach Breakers film, those LUTs that I custom created through Lightroom for each one of those films, we made a LUT pack of those for those last remaining tickets to be sold.
I'm playing this video right now. I'm looking at these olive tree greens and everything. We got this muted blue. Okay. Yeah. All right, guys. This is crazy. If you want these colors, if you sign up for Vision Quest, Alex is going to send you LUTs and give you these colors. That's pretty legit, and then you can change your company name. Don't go with Sculpting With Time, but go with like Modeling With Time or something like that, and then you're basically them. That's all you got to do is just get their colors, and then you just change your name, and that's it, more or less. Man, dude, this is so great. So fun. Well, cool. Well, with that, thank you very much, Alex. This has been so much fun. You guys can check out Vision Quest down in the video description. And we will see you guys next time, later on. Hopefully at Vision Quest. Take care.
Yeah, man. Well,
Oh, and then Alex freezes up right at the end. We did so well once he switched to LTE. And then it froze here. I'm sure he's saying goodbye. Maybe. Oh, man. Oh, he's calling me now. All right. Take care, y'all. See you later. Bye.